David Midgley. I'm the first director of Jamyang Buddhist Centre Leeds. So it all started back in 1996 when I wrote a letter to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. We'd had a group going for about 2 years there, and we requested to have a centre, and it came out good. So here we still are, nearly 26 years later actually, although we didn't quite celebrate our 25th birthday on time. It's too big a story to tell in a very short video. I'm afraid I've been asked to do it in less than 2 minutes, how it all began. But it all happened due to two lovely ladies, Jan and Joan Metcalfe. Jan had been living in London for many years, was born in Leeds, and was running the bookshop at Jamyang Buddhist Centre London. I met her on the course with Geshe Tashi Tsering, who later became the resident teacher in London and has taught Jamyang Leeds, taught for very regularly for more than 24 years before leaving to go to Sera Monastery in India, where he's now the abbot. So we've had so many wonderful teachers and courses, and it's been an amazing journey over these past 25 years, and it's really just beginning to realize the incredible potential of the new building in Holbeck. So I urge you to go if you can. It'd be wonderful to see you there, and thank you for joining us celebrating Jamyang Buddhist Centre Leeds' 25th birthday. Thank you.
Dearest friends in Leeds, I've got a soft spot for Jamyang Leeds. I've been going there, I don't know how long, I don't know, don't remember. And then, so I just want to say it's so amazing that you've lasted this long, and delight in everybody's work, and Kerry and his team, especially the last few years. You've done an amazing job, and the place is just delicious, and I hope you grow, hope you stay for countless more years, okay? Much love to all of you.
Hello, my name is Jan Metcalfe, and I am probably one of the founders and of Jamyang Leeds, and one of the early directors. Our teacher, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, was asked in the mid-90s if we could make a small meditation group, which was then run by David Midgley, which included my sister, into Jamyang Leeds, so it would be under a safe umbrella. And I spoke to Rinpoche, and he said yes, and suggested that David would make an excellent director, as I lived in London and at the time. And the first pupil was probably my sister Joan, who is probably the oldest pupil as well. So David's meditation group in Jamyang Leeds was a success. In 2000 I came back from Nepal, but it was apparent that Jamyang Leeds actually needed a resident place. And so I bought a house, a big old house in a very red light area, and set about altering it to make it into a Buddhist centre where there was a gompa, an eating area, and a library area, and sufficient toilets, and a whole top floor where visiting lamas and teachers could stay with their entourage. We were very, very fortunate to have our wonderful teacher from Jamyang London, Geshe Tashi, come on a monthly basis and teach a 3-year course. We had lots of teachers passing through. We had the wonderful Mike Murray, we had Andy Wiestrike, who came to Leeds from time to time, Sangi Kadro, we had Robina, lots of different Geshes, the wonderful Steve Callier, who actually runs Land of Medicine Buddha and has been a monk for forever, just about. And everybody that came through the door was fed, and there was endless tea, biscuits and chatter. And I left in 2005. I feel that Jamyang Leeds is like my baby, and you know, I have to look after it, and I'm always going to be a ship between two shores, between London and Leeds. I would like to say that Kerry Prest, for me, has been an absolutely amazing director, and I hope he isn't going to edit this bit. And we have been so lucky to have him. It has gone through many transitions and many different buildings since then, and I hope I think it is still in tune with the vision that I had, which was that we're here for all sentient beings, every single one, not just the high flyers and those that are able to do long courses, etc. It is the Dharma is the blueprint that teaches us, but each individual is as unique as their fingerprint and their eye print, and we have to be able to read that and be able to help with an open, compassionate heart. I wish Jamyang Leeds every success wherever it may be, and I shall certainly be there with you. Lots of love to you all. Thank you. I'm so proud to have been a director, and David, that's well done. Thank you. Bye.
Happy birthday, Jamyang Leeds. You're a very, very special centre, and I feel very, very close connection. I've been coming to Jamyang Leeds right from the beginning. I remember teaching in David Midgley's sitting room, and then a bit later in the Swarthmore Adult Education Centre, and then in Jan Metcalfe's house in the Gomper in the front room downstairs, and then when Gabrielle was director at the, I can't remember the name, but anyway, that place that was hired just a bit outside on the edge of Leeds somewhere, and then in the centre of Leeds when Wendy was director, and then most recently, of course, in Holbeck at Clyde Works, since Kerry's been director. So I feel very close to many people at Jamyang, and you've done a great job in creating this centre for the north of England. Of course, I have strong connection with Jamyang London, but somehow maybe it's because I come from Yorkshire, from Sheffield, and I've known Leeds a little bit since I was a kid, but also I was at university in York, so used to go to Leeds quite a lot as a student. I also want to just praise the two highest yoga tantra groups, the Kala Chakra practice group and the Yamantaka practice group. These are really exceptional and a source of incredible power and merit for the practitioners, of course, but also for the lineage of these two very precious tantras. And drawing people from all over the world has put Jamyang Leeds on the world map, including people from outside FPMT, actually. But of course, it's something of pride for FPMT to have such groups, meeting regularly and keeping the practice alive. And of course, this leads to the initiations coming next year by Jada Rinpoche, which will bring such powerful energy to Leeds and the centre, and I'm confident that it will really help the centre to get back on its feet post-pandemic, and it will fill the Gompa, I'm sure. So once again, thank you very much, everybody, and many happy returns.
Hi, Jamyang Leeds. 25 years. Wow, that's amazing. Well done. When I think of my life starting at Jamyang all those years ago, we were at Jan's house and we used to sit on her stairs in the hall, all trying to listen to Geshe's teachings. What an amazing space you're in now. Well done. My time as director, well, I only did 3 years, and that was 17 years ago, so it's a little hard to remember. But what I remember the most is the people. The people were amazing round me, and I still love them. The first thing they had to do was really think about how to communicate with me in a completely different way. Don't forget, 17 years ago. So everybody had to do text messages and mobile phones and emails because I was working in London. And the person that I'd give the gold star to was Marie-Odile, because she could only use a pen and pencil when we started. And she sat in her library and she taught herself how to use the computer, and she answered all the queries that came to Smile. She was a star and probably still is. And the other things that I treasure is my relationship with Geshe. He was my friend for 3 years, and I really, really appreciate that. It was really good. And what have I taken away from? Well, first of all, how I can multitask. I could, so much of my job as a makeup designer was actually transferable skills. You know, still people, they have different names and they have different causes and they have different things that they need. And I suppose the other thing was to listen, because everybody needs an ear. Anyway, less about me. Congratulations. Well done, Kerry. You've done an amazing job to get into that building and do what you've done. And I have to be honest, when I first walked in it, it reminded me of Wingate and all our brick wall. So, well done. Take care. See you soon.
So I'm very pleased to say a few words while you are celebrating Jamyang Buddhist Center Leeds after 25 years, marking the 25 years being there as a Buddhist center. And it is a very remarkable that the center has first of all it started and then continue, and now particularly last 5 years it has been making good progress as a Buddhist center, as a community gathering place, which is very, very inspiring, impressive, and a great joy. And to reach at this stage, have a Jamyang Buddhist Center in Leeds has its own place, its own what you call the property that people can be invited to give Buddhist teachings and other important activities to be held. To reach this stage, many people have contributed, not just financially, but the time, energy, and particularly, the sort of emotions. And not just the people who lead classes in the center, but also people who have taken the role as a director, starting from the David Mitchell and then up to the current director, Kerry. But also there are many people who involved behind the, the more invisible way. And those are the people who are very, very important that we should remember. You should remember. You should think about their great contributions. And I'm sure, the center will progress further with your right positive motivation and community's support and energy of harmony within the people who have the responsibility and people who run the center and people who come to the center to enjoy the place. Harmony is one of the key factors to bring people and to flourish further the center. So I don't have that much to say, but I know up to now, particularly until I left UK, I know lead Jamyang Buddhist Center quite well, and it is a great pleasure to understand you are marking the 25th anniversary finding the center, and my prayer my prayer is with you, center to be further to be very helpful, useful place, and from center, to contribute many important things to the community, whether they are Buddhist community or they are just general local people who come and use the center. So have a good party celebrating the 25th anniversary. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the 25th anniversary celebrations. My name is Wendy and I had the privilege to be a volunteer at Jamyang Leeds for 13 years from 2002 until 2015, and that included 7 years as director. One reason I accepted Lama Zopa's request to be director was the people involved with Jamyang Leeds. In 2008, when we relocated from Armley to St Paul's Street, the help given was energising. Jamyang Leeds became a haven in the centre of Leeds, offering inspiring classes with Ven Mary, Geshe Tashi coming monthly, and some amazing teachers. Perhaps due to this positive energy, our landlord's business expanded. They needed the premises that we rented back, and we were able to find some premises just a few doors away. But the building isn't the Dharma Centre. It's the community that make it a centre. Highlights from my time as director were all due to teamwork, establishing yearly Easter retreats at Ackworth and autumn retreats at Beamsley, holding the Maitreya Relic tour at Leeds City Museum, hosting Yangtze Chorche at the Hilton Hotel in 2013 and the Medicine Buddha empowerment he gave, hosting Lama Zopa Rinpoche at Leeds Trinity in 2014 with the legacy that the teachings from that visit are included in this book. So what matters most about the centre being in Leeds is that it can change people for the better and assist them to become wiser and more compassionate. So thanks to you and the amazing teachers who come, Jamyang Leeds will keep evolving. I rejoice in everyone's contribution over 25 years. May Jamyang Leeds continue to have a huge impact for many more years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ken Lung. I first started attending Jamyang Buddhist Centre in about 2011, mainly to come along to the lunchtime meditations and evening meditations. I'd been to various meditation groups before and other Buddhist centres, but there was something particularly welcoming about Jamyang that made me stick. And over the next couple of years, I did the Discovering Buddhism course led by David Midgley. And sometime in that period, I was asked if I'd just take on the treasurer's role. I remember Wendy, Ridley saying, are you going to be able to look after all that money? And I thought, well, I look after far more money in my day job. What she really meant was, could I count all the pennies and 2p pieces and all the loose change and sort out the various foreign currency that was actually thrown into the donation tin each week. So I've spent the next year or so taking bags of change down to the Co-op Bank in Leeds. I then was asked, as David Midgley had to step back from being chair, he'd expired his maximum term on the board, if I'd take on the chair role, which I thought was a temporary thing, but I was in that role for about 6 years. Not long after taking on the chair role, Wendy, for family reasons, decided to move away from the area and left the directorship vacant. Which is the point when the organisation decided to hire its first paid employee, and that's when Kerry Prest joined us. And the next 5 or 6 years were really quite an exciting time for the centre. We had eventually to move away from our rented space in the centre of Leeds, at first to another temporary rented space. And then the community decided it would be best to buy space to give the organisation more security long term, which is how we ended up in Holbeck. That was an exciting and highly challenging time, but has produced an amazing centre in Leeds, which although it has faced difficulties, particularly through the pandemic and all the things that are going on in the world around cost of living, offers great promise, I think, for the centre and for Buddhism in Leeds. So wishing the team at Jamyang well, and hoping that Marie-Odile is enjoying some aspects of her role as chair, and I'm wishing the organisation moves on from strength to strength.
Hi everybody. So I guess I will be known as the director who bought the building. And when I first came to Jamyang in 2015, we had this strategic planning meeting where already actually in the past I heard that many times Jamyang Leeds community had tried to buy its own property, and it was timely because at that point the landlord already kept putting up the prices, and in the end even he kicked us out of that building because he needed the whole space back. So we looked at many options in the city centre, and that was getting too expensive, so we looked a bit further out, and that was when I found Clyde Works. It was only up for rent, it wasn't even up for sale. We had to just push the agent to let that go. And then what happened was Bob Charlton and I went round to have a look, and I remember looking down the corridor with a smile on my face thinking, yes, this is the one with its offices, its hall. And I really visualised the community hub there with the cafe and the shop. And then, after that, of course, it was a year of planning, emails, solicitors, banking. La Mazopa gave us approval. And then it was 8th of February 2019 that we actually finally moved in. And then 2 months later already, Ling Rinpoche arrived and was blessing the building. It was just stunning. It was such an amazing time. So, as I leave as director at the end of 2022 now, Jamyang Leeds has 25. This is a remarkable history. I'm just one in a many line of directors and volunteers and staff who've made this what it is. And it's been a great honour and a privilege to work for La Mazopa Centre here in City of Leeds and be with you all. And of course, this is only the beginning, because now we have a 25-year master plan for the future about how to make this community hub such a special place for Holbeck and for Leeds, a community partnership with other projects, other charities and other creative art people, full of holy objects, becoming a big tourist attraction for this part of South Leeds. And it's almost like, a Buddhist's gift to the city of Leeds, a compassionate revolution, as one person coined the term. So I wish Jamyang Leeds all the best for its next 25 years, however that happens and wherever it will be. And it's been a great privilege, as I say, to be with you all. Thank you so much, and happy birthday.
Hello, and happy birthday to Jamyang Leeds. My name is Marie-Odile, and I have been chair of the Board of Trustees for just over 2 years. I can truly say that change is the only constant. In the last 2 years, we have had to face the pandemic, and operating through that period has required patience, fortitude, and a lot of compassion. And this year is also a year of change, as we are in the process of appointing a new director. I'm very grateful to Kerry for all that he did for the centre in his 7 years as director. And he was instrumental to bringing us here to Clyde Works. And I've worked very closely with him, and I'll miss him. But as I say, time to move on. So yes, the role is challenging and it brings big responsibilities, but it's never boring. And it's a privilege to serve the Dharma. And it's also very humbling and heartwarming to see how much people are prepared to give of their time. It's very heartwarming to share in the kindness and the generosity of spirit of everybody. Whenever I turn around, say, to write the annual report, and I look at all that's been done in that year, I'm always amazed at how much has been accomplished. So to all, I wish to express my deepest gratitude, and I think that we should all rejoice in all the accomplishments of the centre, and may this continue for many years. So happy birthday, Jamyang Leeds, and let's have a good time.